Oh, hello. In my Is It Worth It to Buy a Warhammer 40k Commander deck video, I asked the question, will the foils within the Warhammer 40k Collector's Edition, the Commander deck that is 100% foils and incredibly expensive, will those foils curl? And if so, how much? I was unable to answer that question because I couldn't get a hold of one of these. Well, as you can see, I finally did. So it's time to open it up, examine, and discuss the reasons and extent that foils curl, as well as a few other thoughts on my mind. But I really don't need this, so after I open it up, I'm going to give it to one of you. How am I able to give away such an expensive product? Well, this video is brought to you by Whatnot, and I'll be giving away this as well as several other Magic the Gathering items for free to a viewer on my special Whatnot stream this Wednesday, October 26th. Not only am I giving this and several other Magic the Gathering items away on that stream, but I'm giving each and every one of you $15 in credit to spend on anything you like on Whatnot, and there's a lot of Magic the Gathering products on the app. So yeah, $15 to spend on Magic stuff. I mean, that's good, right? That's as far as ad integrations go. At least you get $15 towards Magic products. How much are booster packs? A couple free booster packs, essentially. Or if you want to buy something a little more expensive, like a $40 Commander deck that's on Whatnot, you can use that $15 credit, and then it's $40 minus 15, which, as everyone knows, is less. All you have to do to get your free $15 credit to spend on whatever you want on the Whatnot app is use my special invite code, which is whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. And yeah, you get $15. There's other stuff besides Magic, but why not get Magic things for free or cheap or less than? Again, that's not bad. There's worse out there than this. There's evil in the world. This is just Magic stuff. Credit, $15. And I'm going to give one of you who watches the stream on October 26th this for free. And I got some other stuff I'm trying to just give away. We're going to do the Booster Box game live. What does that mean? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out in a few days. So be sure to join me on October 26th on Whatnot. Use my Whatnot invite code at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. I'm not using a teleprompter today, okay? So you get a more real professor. And speaking of the real professor, yeah, that's him. It's fine. It's not damaged. And if it is, it's free. So what, are you going to complain? You know what these things cost? Let's open it up and see how much it will curl. So truth be told, I really could not get a hold of one of these in time for my Is It Worth It to Buy Commander Warhammer 40k video. And then after that video, I got an email from a local game store, Puddletown Puzzles and Games, which said, yeah, we've got a couple extra. I'd met the owner before. It's a really nice store, and I just want to give them a little thank you for getting a hold of me and saying, yeah, we've got them. We will gladly sell you one for your video, which I picked up and am going to give away on the Whatnot stream. But Puddletown, and this is not sponsored or anything, and I did pay for this at full price. You're just getting the deck if you get this, by the way. It's the way these are packaged. And so Puddletown Puzzles and Games, it's a really cool little store if you're in Portland, Oregon, especially if you've got kids. It's very kid-friendly. They seem to do really cool events, Magic and Pokemon and other stuff for younger players. And I think that's really cool to remember that games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, the other one, and the one after that, they're still a little bit for kids. And that often gets forgotten. So I will just take this. This is what you'll get it in, whoever I give this to. This foil box. All right, so I've been seeing a lot of people post online. Whoa. So I've been seeing a lot of people post online like this picture shot right here. And it looks bad, but I gotta tell you, in person, this looks way worse. The camera is not picturing how dramatic that curl really looks, the curvature in real life. So foils curl. The reason they curl, and I've talked about this before on the channel, the reasons they curl has to do with the fact that there is both cardboard and a metal here, essentially, the sticker. And as the cardboard expands and contracts due to changes in air temperature and moisture, the metal does not. And that causes the cardboard to warp around the metal and then take on that shape and become curled. I have a whole video discussing it, but wow, this is pack fresh. Pack fresh. And a good way to demonstrate to you on camera how bad it is holding them like that side to side. And yeah, that's a pretty hefty curl right out of the package. The issue, though, is more what's going to happen over time. Even in the best of climate control, this will go through the process of the cardboard component expanding and contracting, and the foil component not doing so. This is where you've probably seen pictures online or maybe in your own collection of some foils being dramatically curved versus others that are only slightly curved. And there's all these other factors that go into it. It isn't something that we know how to prevent entirely, but we do know ways to reduce it. One method is having thicker, higher quality card stock that is going to retain its flat size more as the temperatures change. This is probably why in cases where you have seen somebody pull out an old foil Japanese card and pointed to how flat it is, that's because the card stock that used to be used in that production was of a higher quality and thicker. And that thickness is important, especially when we look at this. This is 100 foil cards for Commander. And if you know anything about foils, you know that they are slightly larger in size, thickness, I should say, than the regular Magic card. In fact, if you at home have 100 non-foil cards and 100 foil cards, you can put them side by side and you'll see that the foil card stack is a lot thicker. This is the problem people have had with things like the Ultimate Guard Boulder, which is a very tight, narrow container, and they say, hey, I double-sleeved my Commander deck in thick Dragon Shields, and it won't fit. And to that I say, you probably have a lot of foils in there, especially some of the foils from sets that used a thicker cardstock. Every set is using slightly different foiling process. This is why sometimes in a set it's like, wow, these foils really pop. And in another set, wow, they look a little dull and faded. That's because they are using multiple factories, multiple processes, and the long story short is that simply having foil cards means they're going to be larger than non-foil. So why am I talking about this here in relevance to the Warhammer all-foil deck? The reason is that Wizards of the Coast did not want this to be an big, thick deck. And what they did was they used slightly thinner cardboard so that it could be more in line with the size of a regular Commander deck. The problem in doing this is that it is going to make the foils more prone to curling. There really isn't anything that we can tell about this really neat foiling process that would cause the cards to bend more. I mean, after all, it's just essentially a sticker on top of cardboard here. What is going to cause it to bend more is if they said, hey, this is 100 cards stacked on top of each other, all foil, it's going to be huge unless we try and make ever so slightly thinner cardboard, which is what they went with, allegedly. I should also argue that since Wizards of the Coast does not open up and talk to us about things like this, because it usually is embarrassing for them, that we can only go on what information is available. And that sometimes puts me in a bad spot. I don't hear from Wizards much anymore, but when I do hear from them, they're pretty mad at me. And then now they've just kind of stopped. I've been pretty much written off. And a lot of the prior conversations came from statements like that. And I think it's fair for Wizards to maybe write me over this and say, hey, you just told a whole bunch of people we used thinner card stock, and we didn't. Maybe they didn't. And they go, you just told 100,000 plus people incorrect information about us, our practices, our company. We are upset with you over that. And I think there's a fairness to that. My counter to that is, I don't have any other information to go on. You did not publish a thing saying, hey, the Warhammer decks are going to curl more and here's why. Or even that foils curl and here's why. You don't talk to us about, hey, the card stock, this is what happened during Amonkhet block forward that caused terrible card stock. You don't communicate, so we can only go off of the information in front of us. I try and present that information as speculation, as what experts who do crazy things like, especially during Amonkhet, had those devices where you measure the thickness. I don't have that, of cards, and had all kinds of really interesting articles about what might be going on. But at the end of the day, we can only operate off of the information that we're told, which is a really, really boring way for me to say, I don't know for a fact. Wow, that's really... I think that these are slowly curling, having been exposed to air. We should wait 24 hours and show it the next day. But again, we do Magic commentary here, and I will always comment on what Wizards of the Coast says, but what they don't say can be loud as well, especially silence over cardstock quality, which has improved. And that's another reason why that communication could be in their benefit. I believe cardstock quality has improved since Amonkhet. It's not where it was, but I don't have any information to go on from them because they won't comment on it. So what can I say? Here's what it looks like to me in one deck. I don't know. Another really interesting question is this, and here I'm getting into my pro-consumer stuff. Why is this hundreds of dollars for this premium commander deck when it's exactly the same as the other commander decks that are in non-foil? How much is it costing them to make this in foil? Why does this special foil treatment, which is really awesome, by the way, I haven't said positive things, and I should. This looks cool. Curl or no cool? Curl or no cool? That's the name of my new game show. Curl or no curl? This looks cool. Again, in person, I hope the camera is, you see me looking up instead of down because I have my overhead monitor there. In person, this looks so much more lively and just popping off the page than it does probably on screen. It's very neat. Why is this really superior foiling process saved for the $200, $300 limited print commander decks? Why is everything cool behind a paywall? Why can't they just say, hey, we found an awesome way to make foils look better. We found an awesome way to make foils pop. We found an awesome way to bring foiling to the next level. This is now what foils look like. You know, in packs. Well, because then they can't charge you $200, $300 for this. And I think that's a shame. That's like paywalling premium stuff. It makes me think of masterpieces. If you're an older player at this point, you remember when they used to put masterpieces in $4 boosters. Well, now they sell them to you as secret layers, or they sell them to you in more premium products like the collector boosters. They maybe put a couple in, but I don't like this idea of paywalling cool. Just look at that. That's awesome. Now, I don't like Warhammer 40K personally. I never played, so that might be why I don't dig the aesthetic. But I'm just talking about what the card looks like. Looks really neat, doesn't it? Well, I hope you got several $100s if you want that. They're certainly not putting it in a $4 pack. And I think that's a little bit of a shame. So here we are now. These have only been out for, 10 minutes. And I really do feel like they're already curling in the air. Cut back to the shot here of the overhead. I'm not applying pressure, by the way. People say, oh, you're curling it in your hand. No, I'm not. I'm going to lay all these out and just leave them unsleeved for one day on my desk. And then at the end of this video, we'll go ahead and we'll see what they look like. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because I think that's what we want to get to. And there isn't a solution for curling, but I wonder if Wizards is still working to improve it. And this is, again, where communication would be cool. Imagine them bragging about it. Because people have held up cards that curl significantly less. Cards from other games, cards from other eras. And with all this money Wizards is making, I wonder if they said, hey, let's make it a priority. Obviously, science, thank you, Kyle Hill, is going to mean that a foiled card is likely to not be 100% flat. But that doesn't mean it can't be better than this. So let's apply some of this money that we're making into researching ways to cultivate quality products that are not going to curl as dramatically. Hey, those 7th edition foils that were printed at the factory in Japan, they're really good quality. Why is that? Let's figure it out. Let's see if we can replicate that in current ones. I don't think they're doing that. Maybe they are. Again, this is where they get mad at me and they say, we're doing that. And I say, well, you didn't tell anybody. How are we supposed to know? Well, you didn't ask. Well, you don't answer my emails. So, I mean, what do you want from me? To just, we as consumers, and I've talked about this with all of you before, we as consumers cannot take the side of the corporation. We can't say, well, there's things that they know that they can't tell us. We say, this is what we have to go on, what we're spending our money on. Is this Warhammer 40K Collector's Edition awesome? Yes, it is. I'm going to say this right now. I don't like Warhammer stuff, like the aesthetic. I don't dislike it, but it doesn't resonate with me. That's why I've probably never played. Also, I can't paint. So it's not my jam. And yet, looking at this commander deck in person, I'm feeling really excited. This is awesome. This is cool. I almost want to keep this, but I'll give it away to one of you on my Whatnot stream. Use my code, $15. I mean, that's not bad, right? But this being $200-$300 really upsets me because it means that most people can't afford it, can't get it. Look at the individual cards you might want from it. Buy them up as singles, but I wish Wizards was like, hey, this is just what we're doing for the decks. Here you go. The decks are all foil. They're the regular price. Or actually, the Warhammer Commander decks were not the regular price, were they? They were more expensive than the typical Commander deck. Maybe that's the reason why it would be all foil. I just feel like things keep getting more and more expensive, more and more costly, and we get less and less. And cool things like these Commander decks, all in foil, get put behind a paywall. But in isolation of price, this is a home run product. Look at this Caged Sun. Oh, this is a home run product. It's beautiful. The Commander decks, Gilded Lotus, are full of great cards. Fantastic construction for a precon. A friend of mine took one of the precons from my collection to go down to a Commander night. Here we're in the basic lands. I'm going to probably go through them. And sat up against people with, wow, that looks great. God, that's so gorgeous. Congratulations to whoever gets this. But sat down against people with their established decks, and they put up a hell of a fight. I don't believe they won, but they came close. These decks are powerful. Beautiful product. Is it just Swamps? Oh, this is, of course, yeah, it is just Swamps. It's the mono black one. Well, there you go. So at the end of the day, this product is an absolute enthusiastic A. But the price on it is atrocious. Woo! So this is the weird proxy card, and even that's curved. Even the weird proxy card has got a curve, and that's some thick cardboard. So maybe everything that I've said so far is baloney, because that is as thick, double C thick, as it comes, and it's still curved. I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. I feel like a putz sometimes talking about my thoughts, because I feel like I'm wrong on a lot of things, and I can only go on the information that I have. Here are the tokens. Whoa, that's weird, actually. Hang on. The back of this token doesn't look foil. It's not. Hang on. Hang on here. Boo. The front is foil. The back isn't. Cheapskates. Cheapskates. Oh, fail. Fail this product. No, not really, but cheapskates. They can do double-sided foils. We've gotten them in sets. So either this deck is a misprint, in which case whoever gets it, maybe it's worth more, but I think that it would have cost them a lot more money to make the tokens double-sided. And so they're only foil on the one side. Well, even in an amazing, excellent, over-the-top product like the Warhammer 40K Collector's Edition decks, even then, Wizards of the Coast is still going to Wizards of the Coast it up. Okay, so these have been sitting on my desk for 24 hours. The me you saw before and the me you're about to see after has not seen this time jump, so here I am in the future. And honestly, they haven't curved that much worse than coming out of the pack. Or the box, I should say. I do think that this isn't great, but it's not a disaster. There have been secret layers where it completely curls, top hitting bottom, as it were, and this is not that. I wish that they could invest more to prevent this, but just being honest here, 24 hours unsleeved on my desk. Yes, it is in my office, which obviously is climate controlled and to a certain extent humidity controlled. So there's that disclaimer, and I do think it's fair for someone to leave this on their desk overnight. I don't think it should be like, you got to seal it up, you got to protect it, you got to put it under an encyclopedia, but this is not as dramatic as I had thought it would be. It doesn't mean that it's great, and it doesn't mean that I wish it couldn't be better, but there you go. There's how much they curl. Well, I know this is not like my usual video. I always feel bad when I don't have a script, and I wish I kind of did, but people have said they enjoy my ramblings, so you get a rambling video. Thanks again to Whatnot for not only sponsoring this rambling video, but for sponsoring my stream where I will give this deck right here in my hand, curl and all. Ooh, do you really want it in this? Do you want me to sleeve it for you? You know, I do know a thing or two about sleeves. I don't want to put it in this box because it's like got all these, look, it's gonna, I didn't break it. It's just the fold. I'll figure it out. I'll send it to you in a nice way. Maybe I'll sleeve it. Will it fit in the box if sleeved? You will get it. Please join my Whatnot stream this Wednesday, the 26th, or just use my code, whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. Gives you $15 of credit. There's all this stuff for sale on Whatnot, not just magic cards. You can use that credit on any stream. Go in, someone's selling an individual card, packs of cards. I will have other giveaways on my stream where we do the booster box game live, and yeah, I might have a couple things you can spend that credit on, but it's there, it's for you. There's worse deals, and I hope this wasn't a terrible, embarrassing video of me talking without a script. I really hate talking without a script because not my strength, but I hope very much to see you on my Whatnot stream, and I hope whoever gets this curled Commander deck does enjoy it very much. It looks great, curls or no, it does look great.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Today, two of the most evil forces, evil Mark Rosewater and evil Gavin Verhey. We are going to be playing with decks befitting such vile personalities. 8-rack. Mill.
This is the best evil you could find.
This is
So I'm gonna cast Visions of Beyond.
Let's just double check that. 1, 2, 5. No, it's got more. It's got more. It's got more.
This is the worst.
I believe I'll play this polluted delta. Trigger, trigger! Mill 3, then mill 3 again.
I'm gonna count how many cards I have in my library first off.
All right, so I'm gonna split your lands.
Right,
You
so
don't think
it's
Really?
like we got divorced.